Welcome back to Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. This one is entitled Rhinestone Cowboy. Well, I thought I was going to be one. Didn't know what the song was. This dates back, I think I was about 2 years old. That would make this about 1981. My mother was home with us in the evenings. My father worked the evenings, so he was not there. My grandmother may have been over, but I do not remember precisely. I think she was, but I'm not sure. I think they were giving my sister a bath or something, and they needed the both of them in there for something, so my mother ran in because grandma did everything. So my mother ran in or something, and I was just a kid, a toddler. I'm on the floor, and I found a rhinestone bracelet. Rhinestones are little diamondy looking things, probably different colors. I seem to remember like orangey and yellow vaguely about it. Well, anyway, I grabbed hold of this thing wherever it was, whether it was dropped on the floor accidentally or it was on a coffee table or something, or left on a chair, I don't know. But I grabbed it and I was on the floor in the living room and my mother ran off and I'm playing with this thing and I got my little hands and I'm playing with it, oh, shiny little things and shit like that. And one of the rhinestones came out. And I said, wow, that was fun. Let me do another one. So I kept playing with it and I picked out like two, three of them, something. And I picked it up and I'm like, ooh, what's this? What's this? Wow, wow. What can I do with that at 2 years old? What else would you do with it at 2 years old? You'd shove it up your nose or put it in your mouth. And I shoved it up my nose. I was 2 years old. What do you want? And nobody was watching me. So I still get into trouble these days. So anyway, what ended up happening was I started to cry. And my mother came and she saw the rhinestones and shit. And somehow I alluded to the fact that my nose hurt or I couldn't breathe or something. I don't know exactly what the shit details were. But yeah, grandma was there if I'm not mistaken. So what ended up happening was I ended up at the local hospital. My mother was probably more hysterical than I was. And I could get that, understandably so. Um, so I don't remember much, but I actually have a very, very vague video clip in my mind. I'm 2 years old. They have me sitting on a table and they start sticking tweezers up my nose to try to grab the thing and pull it out. And it wasn't going. Now, this thing was pretty small, but it got lodged nonetheless. Um, they're trying. I'm screaming and crying and shit like that. Meanwhile, my mother called my father to have him come home. And I remember he came in while I was there on the table. Um, but I remember them trying to get it out, and it wasn't working. And then they got this metal thing. Slender metal thing. I seem to remember it sort of had a bend, almost like eyeglasses where it goes behind your ear. It had a bend kind of like that. That's what I recall from 2 years old. And they decided they can't get it out, so they were going to have to push it through. And they stuck this big metal thing. This hurt. I can't tell you what this hurt like. But the idea was the guy stuck his hand, his fingers, in my mouth to the back of my throat and shoved this thing up my nose. And it pushed the rhinestone through and fell, and he caught it and pulled it out. Wow. I just remember being in extreme pain at 2 years old, and me sitting on the table, and the guy shoving this metal thing up my nose. The rest was told to me by my mother. But yeah, that's what happens when you don't watch your kids. They get into fucking everything. Yeah, I still get into trouble today. Yeah, hasn't left me. So there you go. Anyway, no permanent damage from that. I do have a deviated septum, which means that my nose is crookedy. Is that due to that? I mean, the passages are crookedy. Like one side is pushed over more than the other. Um, doesn't really cause much trouble. Was it from that? I doubt it, but I don't know. Anyway, that was really it. That was a dumb thing I did. But I was 2 years old, so, what do you want? Anyway, that's going to wrap this one up. Just a quick one today. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you click like. Make sure you click subscribe. And take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.